And based upon the AR4, that in order to respond to the climate change, the necessary mitigation cost would be at the maximum, not just postponed by 1 year, the growth of the GDP for the whole world. And having said so, for the renewable energy, based upon the special report on renewable energy, wind power and other renewable energy sources cost as compared to the conventional energy sources, the price levels of renewables that have to become more competitive. And in order to promote the green economy, the role to be played by policy is quite important. But he has several countries have also pointed out that it may impinge upon their right to develop, but still we need to further promote the renewable energy for the good of the whole humankind. Thank you very much. May I now turn to Vice Governor of the ADB. The basic stance and the policy as well as program of the ADB will be elucidated by the Vice President Lohani. Asia is at the center of the growth for the whole the world, and I'm sure it will be playing even a more important role in the future. And under the constraints of resources and the environment, we still need to see the good growth. And the role to be played by ADB is critical in this regard. So, Dr. Lohani, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Hamanaka, Dr. Pachauri, Dr. Ishii, many distinguished individuals in the audience, many friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. The theme of this session is on green economy for sustainable development. As Professor Hamanaka said, first I'm going to talk really on just the Asian economy, not even green economy. Let's see how does it look like, and then how and we can make this greener in the future. When we look at the big picture, Asia has performed quite well over the recent decades. We all know the story. Even with the sluggish growth today in the globe, GDP outlook for the developing Asia has moderated to about 6.6% this year, and we predict it'll be about 7.1% next year. That's a lot of growth, given that what's happening in the world today. But Asia's growth impressively remains the strongest across all the region. We did a study last year called Asia 2050. How is Asia going to look like in 2050? And it says that if the current trend continues, and if the leadership as provided by the countries continue to be in the right directions, Asia will have more than half the global GDP by 2050, about 52%. That's a lot of growth. Will be led by 7 countries in Asia: China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Republic of Korea, Thailand, and Malaysia. The projected share of these 7 countries will be 90% of the Asian growth. Bangladesh, Kazakhstan, Vietnam have the potential to join them over the next 40 years. This means that up to 3 billion people could potentially join the affluence, the current level of affluence. But there's a lot of hard work ahead of us to get from where we are today and to where we want to be tomorrow. This rapid growth has also brought some negatives. The disparity between the rich and poor is very wide. The inequality is very high within the country and across the countries. This growth has also come at the cost of environment in a significant way. We can see that and we can document that. The question, therefore, often asked is, so what is needed to sustain Asia's economic transformation as we strive to move to the next level of development? To us at the Asian Development Bank, when we look at this picture, we feel that the next level of development in Asia lies in three types of growth. The inclusive growth, to make sure that everybody benefits out of this. The rich and the poor, not the rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer or stay the same, or doesn't get the benefit at the same rate. The second is the green growth, environmentally sound growth. And the third, once you're in the middle-income countries, how to become to the next level of high-income level, the knowledge-led growth. Today, that's my first point. The second point I'm going to talk to is about how to promote, therefore, green growth and green economy for sustainable development. And I'm going to say this from the perspective of a multilateral bank like Asian Development Bank. I do face a lot of difficulty trying to explain to my economists, and the bank is full of economists, macroeconomists, my financial specialists, development planners on green growth. They get immediately frightened whether we are telling them once again about green accounting. I have to say, no, I'm not talking about that. They also heard the discussion of the Rio, which Mr. Hamanaka and Dr. Pachauri both mentioned. Some countries are so skeptical about this. And therefore, how do we really pass on this message in each organization, each countries? And Dr. Pachauri showed that in the last slide from Rio. Each country will have to find its own way of getting to the green growth. And I believe we need to do that do the same for each organization. Many people, when we have debate in the bank, very intelligent people with lots of education, lots of years of experience, very senior people, the clarity is often not there. And sometimes we even complex whether it's green growth and green economy, inclusive green growth. At least this morning I'm going to talk green growth and green economy as meaning the same thing. We define green growth as economic progress that fosters environmentally sustainable, low carbon, and socially inclusive development. Green growth to us is a strategy that links economic growth with sustainable development objectives. Green growth means ensuring that as we build, and which we build at ADB, the new roads, power plants, and other infrastructures, environment is not damaged, and we look for opportunities for low carbon options while we do the same types of work we used to do in the past. Green growth means to us avoiding the conventional approach of grow first and clean up later type of attitude. Green growth means that environmental, social, and economic development work together complement one another, is as much as an attitude towards development as it is expecting higher income as a result. The challenge, as we all know, is very, very huge. By 2030, some of the estimates we made shows that the world will need about 50% more food, 45% more energy, 30% more water than it uses today. And we must make this happen while adapting to the climate change that we cannot stop and making sure it doesn't get worse. It does help when you try to put some of these numbers in the GDP context, at least say in an organization like mine. So we did a study on what will be the likely impact of the climate change on 4 countries, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines. And the economists came up with a number like 6.7% of GDP. When they see this number, they get frightened because this is a lot of GDP, negative GDP, which could happen. It does help. And it can make the issue that we need to act now in order not to have that kind of negative impact in the future. I believe green growth can help turn this crisis into an opportunity, and the fact that Asia is going to become 50% of the global growth in the future, we need a different path at the moment, and this is doable. Just to cite one simple number, the global cost of pollution today is estimated to reach about more than 600 billion. Now, if you move to the low-carbon technology, the cost of the pollution becomes less than 1/3.